Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Coffee here. And today we're starting with our whip and chat. Whip stands for work in progress. So get out whatever it is you're working on. Work along with me as I tell you some stories from the coffee house shenanigans. First things first, happy Black History Month. Hopefully this Black History Month, you will take a moment out of your time to find something about Black history that you did not know about. So the videos this month, or at least the whip and chats this month, are going to have like a little Black history something at the beginning of them. I'm going to try to remember to put something because I feel like I haven't done enough with my platform for Black History Month. I don't think I've done pretty much anything for it. Mostly because I don't know really what to do. And so this month I decided, or this year I decided, I want to start putting like little quotes and stuff at the beginning of the videos. So in case there's something about Black history that you might not have known, maybe you'll learn something new. Who knows? Anyways, hopefully you're having a wonderful day, a wonderful start to your week. Y'all, y'all remember when I was all sad? When I was like, the kids ride the bus. I don't know how to feel about this. Well, there was an incident. Not really an incident, but the kids no longer ride the bus. And I'm pretty sure I explained this to you. They overbooked the buses, so the buses had twice as many kids on them as they were supposed to have. And the system that they were using to essentially tell them how many students is on each bus apparently had a little bit of a bug and double booked all the buses. So they had to kick off half the students that were riding the bus until they can get it figured out. So we are on 1 week, full week of taking the kids back and forth to school. So this started last Wednesday, and where at first I was like, my babies, they're on the bus, oh God. Now I'm like, good God, why do I have to take these kids to school? Look, I love my kids, I really do. I hate taking them to school. They gave me that little taste of freedom, and now I'm like, when are y'all getting these buses back up and running? So essentially, I did talk to the person that's in charge of transportation for the school district because this is their first year ever doing anything like this. And this person is heading it up. And of course, he's dealing with all the angry parents that were upset that their child was riding the bus 1 week just fine. And then the next week, they're no longer riding the bus. So they explained to me that there was a little bit of a hiccup with their system. It double booked all the buses. And until they can get it figured out and hire on like 2 or 3 more drivers, unfortunately, the folks that were overbooked will have to continue to take their kids to school until it's made safe. Because, of course, having that many kids on the bus is not safe. I don't know how many buses they have. That is not my business. So don't ask, because I know somebody's going to ask me. I don't know how many buses they have. I don't know how many students were on the bus. Maggie was letting us know that her little friend was like, yeah, one day the bus was filled with kids, and then the next day there's like 12 students on the bus. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds about right. Now, the buses can't hold more than 12 students, but they literally booted everyone off the freaking bus unless you signed up like beginning of school, which they hadn't really announced it anywhere that they were going to have buses this year. I just happened to find out because I noticed the surplus of buses passing my house around 3 o'clock. And I'm like, where are all these buses coming from? And then I inquired about it at the school, and they gave me the paper to sign up for the bus. So that's how I found out. Like, they didn't put out, like, any other day. Let them have some kind of fundraiser for the school. Let there be some kind of, like, oh, it's hat day. Pay $1 to wear a hat to school. They'll send me out that email 70 freaking times. But tell me that there's a bus able to take my kids back and forth, and you don't ever hear from them. So the kids were really excited to ride the bus. They are super duper upset that they don't get to ride the bus right now. But I have to admit, I like picking them up from school because that little after school conversation we have in the car is always the best. And this past Friday, the kids were excited because it was Groundhogs Day. And they were like, Mommy, how does everybody know Phil? And I'm like, well, he's kind of like world known, like, or at least he's, known very well in the U.S. I don't know if people outside of the U.S. know who Punxsutawney Phil is. Punxsutawney Phil is the groundhog that they use here to tell them the weather. Now, the kids remember Punxsutawney Phil because we've been to that event before when we lived in PA. So they've actually met one of the Punxsutawney Phils, because I'm also wondering how they do that. Do they dub one of the groundhogs that just happens to be over there like Punxsutawney Phil? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm pretty sure that thing doesn't live forever. So, spoiler alert. Hopefully your kids aren't around. How many Punxsutawney Phils do you think they've had? I don't remember what they said when we were there. It's been a hot minute since we've been there. Like they have like a whole event in PA for this Punxsutawney Phil thing. But the kids were wondering, like, well, how can they tell the weather based on a woodland creature? And I'm like, well, it's just like a kind of a superstitious type thing. Then we had to explain superstitions to them because they don't know what superstitions are. And I'm like, you know how mommy tells you not to open up umbrellas in the house and don't split poles when you're walking with her and holding your hand and all that? That's mommy is superstitious. Are you superstitious? Write that down in the comments. What are you superstitious to? Because I don't do the umbrella in the house thing. I don't do the broken mirror thing. I don't do splitting the pole when you're walking with. I don't even let the dog split the pole when we're walking, okay? I don't even let the dog split the pole. So I'm curious. What are you guys superstitious to? Answering that question might win you something. So there's that. A little Easter egg for you. So yeah. So they were excited to tell me that the groundhog, I don't remember if he saw his shadow or not. I can just tell you that my dogs are shedding like crazy. They're like little banshees over here. And I'm like, at this point, I might as well just make my own husky glitter yarn. Because the way this dog is shedding, I'm like, I need to get him to the groomers. But why does it seem like every time we're trying to save money is when all this stuff pops up? And I'm like, oh my God, how are you even saving money in this economy? So I'm like, okay, at some point, I need to go spend the $300, $400 to get the dogs groomed because they're shedding horrendously. And I would love for my carpet to not look like a small dog. So I'm going to have to go get them groomed. And I'm like, God dang it. So there was that. And it was also tax weekend. So tax weekend is essentially the weekend before the Super Bowl or at the Super Bowl time where I get together all of my tax stuff to give to my preparer, if you will, aka my mom. And if you've never had your tax preparer be your mom before, look, listen, I'm almost 40 years old. Okay. I'll be 40 years old this year. This 2024, by the way, in case you're watching this at some later point in time. I'll be 40 did I say 44? Wait, I'm going to be 40 this year, not 44. If I said 44, I apologize. No, I think I said 2024. Sorry, brain. So my mom still does my taxes for me. Why? Because I have hard taxes. These aren't easy taxes. You ever fill out a 1099? Look, listen. No. Which is why I told my dad protect her at all costs, because the way I can't be out here bothered to do my own taxes. And she's like, I can teach you. No, you can't. And she's like, why not? Because I don't want to learn. Why should I learn when you're right there? You already know all the tax laws and stuff. I don't. I would get audited the first time I even tried to do my own taxes. So I'm like, nah, homie, you got that. Just don't die on me, okay? Every time my dad's like, your mom's sugar's high. Throw out everything sugary in the house. Like, I'm not trying to do these taxes. I'm going to need her to live forever, or at least until I retire from YouTube. If I happen to suddenly retire from YouTube, just know something has happened to my stepmother. Just know something has happened to her, because the way I would quit immediately, like, how am I supposed to do these taxes? The last time I had someone do my taxes that wasn't my mom during tax season, I paid almost $320 to have them prepared. Never again. Never again. H&R Block is a fucking scam, okay? Never. And then we got audited. They took no credit for the fact that they prepared the taxes. I even went to them because they have like some kind of guarantee that if something happens that they'll pay the whatever. Oh, then they claim that we didn't go to them to get our tax prepared, even though our envelope and everything from that year said H&R Block, and they're like, no, you didn't get it done from us. Excuse me? Literally, I was smart enough to take pictures while I was there because the kids were being all cute. And I was like, we were literally in your facility. I remember my preparer's name and everything. So they tried not to pay for the fact that we got audited and the lady didn't know what she was doing. Talk about she was new. Man, please. Anyways, so I knew this weekend I was going to have to sit down at some point and get my taxes ready. Now, when you work on social media, that's not as simple as waiting for like a 1099 to come in the mail and then you send it off or you do your taxes. Nay, you have to calculate up all your expenses for the year. And I tell myself every year, I'm going to get better at it. Every time I make a purchase, I'm going to write it down. I think last year I wrote down one purchase and I was like, I'm over it. I'm over it. I can't be bothered, y'all. I buy too much stuff. I cannot be bothered. Not only that, a lot of the stuff that I make, especially from like YouTube and everything else, I pay bills with. Like, I just got a $494 electric bill. You think I'm not going to be spending it on bills? The cost of living right now is expensive. Okay? Expensive. I went to the store the other day because Orion has started trying to like get better at like, I guess, taking care of himself. There's a girl involved in this somewhere. I don't know where she's at or why he's like this, but there's a girl involved. I'll explain why I think that here in a few minutes. But he's talking about like not so much eating better, but trying to be like more active. He wants a weight set for his birthday, which Orion's birthday is on Sunday, which is Super Bowl Sunday. Orion's birthday is on Sunday, and so I was like, well, let me go get some salad mix and stuff from the store, because he was like, I could really go for a salad. So I was like, okay, well, let me go get some salad mix. Fucking $9 for salad mix. These crack prices. Got people out here doing strange for change for salad mix. And I'm like, I'll make it myself. By the time I got all the ingredients I needed to make a decent salad, I was looking at $12. I was like, Lord have mercy. It costs so much to be alive. But you best believe Little Caesar still got that $7 pizza. Because it used to be $5 hot and ready. Now it's $7 hot and ready. And I'm like, you know what? I'll spend the extra $2. I'm okay with it. We ended up getting pizza, I think, Friday night. And typically we get 2 pepperonis because we know Orion's going to use one of them for lunch the next day. Nay, this kid decided to eat a whole pepperoni pizza. And he's like looking at us like, what? I'm like, Orion, sir, listen, please. Just because you can eat an entire pizza doesn't mean you should eat an entire pizza, okay? And he's like, okay, but I was hungry. How hungry are you? Because the way you don't stop eating, like, dude, I'm not even joking you. This dude would come home from school. He's gotten to the point where he's learned to start eating leftovers. So he'll eat leftovers, pretty much the rest of the leftovers from the night before. He'll eat those. Then make himself a sandwich and noodles. Go up to his room, and dinner's usually ready within 3 or 4 hours after they get home from school. Then he will eat 2 plates of dinner and then look at me and go, can I have a snack? But why? Why are you like this? And he just looks at me. He's like, what's wrong? What happened to my baby? My little baby boy that couldn't say barbecue sauce. He's like, I don't even like barbecue sauce. You don't now. Yo, I'm going through it. And through therapy, I'm learning the reason I've been so depressed lately is because that is something that I can't control. I'm a Virgo. I love controlling things. And the fact that Orion is growing up, I can't control that. I can't control him growing up. I can't control how much he eats or how much he sleeps. And because I can't control it, it spun me into a depression. And I'm like, well, I don't want him to not grow up. I just want him to do it slower. Give me time to ease into this, okay? And she's like, yeah, you're upset. And most parents go through this little bout of depression where when their kids start to grow up and they realize that their children are children now and are not babies and they don't need you as much. Not the whole road just dipping out. When your children don't need you as much, you start getting a little bit depressed about it. And so she was like, it's normal. Like, it's most parents go through this. And I knew I wasn't alone based on the comment section from last week, but still I felt some type of way about it. And like I said, I think there's a girl involved in whatever is going on with Orion, because like he talks to us, but not like all the time. And he hasn't hinted towards any girls, but before, if Maggie would start picking on him and saying that he liked a girl, he'd be like, ew, gross. That's disgusting. Now it's, what girl are you talking about? And I'm like, wait, you completely changed that up on me. You flipped the script. What do you mean, what girl is she talking about? How many girls are there? Look, listen, Valentine's Day is coming up here soon. And he already asked me to make something. And I'm like, why? He wouldn't tell me why. But he just knows that mommy is crafty. And mommy can make something cool, which is going to be better than what is done in the store. So why not just have mommy make it? And I'm like, because mommy doesn't want to. Because mommy doesn't want to. What do you need it for, sir? And he won't tell me. He's not ready to come out. And I want him to be able to come out and tell me, hey, I like a girl. Is that going to happen? Maybe. I'm holding out. Don't. Look, put the phone down. Put the computer pad down. Don't type in chat that he's not going to tell me. Okay, I already know he's not going to tell me. Let me have this little bit of mindset of he might come to me and tell me one day. Don't tell me in the comments that he's not going to tell me, okay? The way y'all be bursting my bubble in that comment section, y'all are vicious. So I'm sitting there and like I said, his birthday is coming up and we're all excited for his birthday. And the first thing he asked is, could he take some friends over bowling? And I was like, bowling? Ew. Rent a foot fungus? Why? Now, you guys already know Miss Coffee's a germaphobe. We make this no secret. And so I was like, ew. I was like, why? Now, the first thing I think of when kids want to go do something like this, one, the kids haven't had birthday parties since we moved here from, oh, that's right, I mixed these drills with the lowercase t. What is a lowercase t? See, I was smart. When I mixed the drills up, I write on the bag what I mixed it up with. And it says letter D, but that's not a letter T. I don't even see a wait, is it the letter D for number 19? It might be number 19. I'm thinking it might be number 19. Because there's lowercase t. But number 19 doesn't look like a brown color. Anyways, so he said about going and asking could he take his friends bowling. And I was like, bowling? Ew. Why bowling? He goes, I want to hang out with my friends. And I'm like, you can hang out with your friends somewhere that I won't have to worry about you getting like freaking foot rot. And he's like, wait, what? I'm like, nothing, don't worry about it. Why bowling though? And he's like, I don't know, where else is there to go? I'm like, I don't know, the place that's literally 20 steps from your house. How about the trampoline park? And he's like, oh yeah. What do you mean? Y'all, we just went to the trampoline park like 2 weeks ago, okay? We try to take the kids like once or twice a month to the trampoline park. So, especially in the winter, we took them a little bit more than that because they're cooped up in the house all day. So, we want to get them out and be active. So, we take them to the trampoline park. So, yeah. So, that definitely is number 9. I don't know why I wrote the letter D on there. Anyways. So, it looks like the darker color is number 9. So, I got to make sure I don't use a darker color. But, yeah. So, okay. Making sure I'm using the right symbol. So I was like, yeah, why don't we go to the trampoline park? Now, the reason I wanted to talk him into the trampoline park, okay, is because, one, Maggie's going to have to go with us. I'm not going to have Mr. Coffee go out by himself with a bunch of teenage boys to the trampoline park. No. 2, Maggie can't hold the ball at a bowling alley. Like, she's so small. She's so tiny. She can't be bothered with a bowling ball. Like, could you imagine Maggie with a bowling ball? I know all of y'all are thinking violent things, but I cannot imagine Maggie having a bowling ball. Even if it's one of the kid-sized ones, I don't see her very much enjoying that. She's going to talk about her arms hurting, and I'm like, what about the trampoline park? Because though it's not Maggie's birthday and the attention's not going to be all on Maggie, I want her to be able to play and not be bugging me every 30 seconds to do this and that and the third. So I'm like, yeah, why don't we go to the trampoline park? That seems a lot more fun. So he agreed, yeah, we can go to the trampoline park. So I was like, can we wait until Saturday? He goes, why Saturday? One, because I can stream and then get off stream early. And two, because it's Saturday, so you don't have to wake up early the next day. Because the way the kids around here's parents don't give zero fucks about them and what time they go to bed it's astonishing to me. Because my kids go to bed and are in bed by 10 o'clock. I don't care what age you are. You need to be in bed by 10 o'clock. And we will still see kids outside playing at 10, 11 o'clock. And I'm like, what? Don't y'all have school tomorrow? Don't y'all have school tomorrow? What are y'all doing? What are we doing? Go home. So I'm just like, yeah, let's do it the Saturday after your birthday. Because plus Saturday, or that Sunday is Super Bowl Sunday. And they're probably going to be busy as crap the day before because nobody's going to want to go on Super Bowl Sunday. And I have to make sure I have enough money. To feed 4 teenage boys. Look, listen, I barely have the money now to feed 1 teenage boy. But to then have 4 of them, 3 of them not even being mine, I have to make sure that they have money for the concession stand. I have to make sure they have enough money for drinks and for jumping and everything. Like, they have packages that you can get at the trampoline park to jump for so many hours and all this. But I wanted to make sure that not only did I have enough money for them, but for Maggie as well, because of course she's going. And so I was like, at the trampoline park, at least Maggie can kind of go off on her own. And usually what ends up happening is she'll find a friend, like she'll go make a friend, or one of her friends will be there and she'll hang out with her friends while Orion does his thing. So I was like, yeah, you guys are going to have a lot more fun over there than you would the bowling alley, where at the bowling alley you're there for like maybe 2-3 hours, if that. And I'm like, I'm not the biggest fan of the bowling alley. Not only that, the bowling alley here has a bar in it. And I don't like the fact or the idea of having a bunch of drunk people around kids, especially when 2 of the kids are not my own. I don't care what you do at your house, but at my house, when you're with us, you will not be around a bunch of men or women drinking and being drunk and acting stupid. Like, we're not doing that. So, put that back in there. So I was like, why don't we go to the trampoline park? So he agreed. And then finally, we got the birthday list. And I had been waiting for this birthday list for a hot minute to see exactly what it is he wanted. And why my brain didn't process the fact that Orion's getting older, so are his taste in things, I don't know. 3 of the items on his birthday list cost over $50. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, who doesn't want to pay $65 for a hoodie when you don't wear the 7 that are already in your closet? Yay for me. I love this for me. And so I was like, oh, sweet Lord. Okay. And he's like, but it's not this hoodie. What does that mean? Like, what do you mean it's not that hoodie? Now, don't get me wrong. I dealt with some of this with the oldest child before, right? I've dealt with this with the oldest child. And she wasn't this particular about things. Minna's a very laid-back type kid. So where she did like particular things sometimes, typically it was just the fact that you thought to buy me something, I appreciate you. But Orion has a specific list of things that he would like for his birthday, which is not a problem. We'll make a way. He only asked for 4 or 5 things: a Champion hoodie, a pair of Michael Jordan shoes, because Dad's name's on it, so we have to have Michael Jordan shoes. A Curie weird little keyboard that comes apart and you can change the faceplate on it. It was like $73. V-Bucks. What was the last thing he asked for? He asked for like one other thing. I think it was just like money or something. And I was just like, he's like, Mom, please no more books. I have enough books. I'm like, I hadn't planned on what book would I get you? He gets a lot of books for gifts. And because he's smart, it seems like the only thing people think to get him is books. So when he was like, please, because my parents are like notorious for it. They will like be like, oh, well, he's super smart. Here's this book on science physics. And he's like, this, what? He's like, I'm a kid. Why don't they understand that I'm a kid? And I'm like, dude, they do. They just know you're smart and that they want to give you something that's going to, he's like, but Maggie gets toys and I get books. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what to tell you about that. Just be grateful that you got something. He's like, well, I am, but I would like a birthday where I don't get books, because it seems like every birthday he has, he gets like 7 books. Like nothing really fun for him, nothing that he really asked for, just books. And he's like, I'm just, Mom, I can't. There's no way I could ever read all these books. And I'm like, okay, so no books. So I had to call my parents and be like, look, listen, I know you want your grandson to read all these books, okay? I know you do. He's smart, and so you think that he wants smart boy things, and you get him books. I'm like, Orion is no longer ever accepting books as a gift. And my dad goes, wait, why not? Because my dad, of course, bought him a book for Christmas, and then turned around and called us like a week or so ago out of the blue and was like, how did Orion like that book? And he goes, I didn't even bother to read it. And my dad got upset. He goes, why not? He goes, why would I? I was like, he's got a point. Like, why would he read the book if it's not something that he's interested in? He's like, well, it's on this, and that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Paw, if you're interested in it, then you can read it. But your grandson is not interested in the book. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Most teenagers aren't looking for books for their birthday. And so, having to break that little bubble, Papa was upset. He was just like, well, fine, then I won't get him any more books. And he's like, thank you. I have enough. Thank you. So, no books. And I was like, we don't typically get him books. He just kind of gets books randomly from all over. So, we hadn't planned on getting him books anyways. And so, when it came to get him a gift, I was like, what are we going to get him? And Mr. Coffee's like, oh, well, why does he want Jordans? Now, this kid ain't playing nan sport, okay? Ain't playing nan sport. I did sign him up for soccer. But he ain't playing nan sport. Talk about he want Jordans. Sir, you getting on the b-ball court? What's the b-ball court? Sweet Lord and baby Jesus. This tells you right there that you don't need no Jordans. Like, why do you need that specific type of shoe? Now, I remember growing up and seeing all these kids with these Jordans and going, why would you waste money on something that you're not going to be able to fit in about 6 months? The fact that your parents spent that much money on you. I remember somebody, I think it was one of my sisters, got one of the kids a Michael Jordan like outfit because they were like tiny little infants. And I was like, you did not spend $45 on a baby outfit that they're going to outgrow in a week. And she did. I think Maggie wore that outfit one time before she outgrew it. And my sister would call me every week. You put her in the Jordan outfit. Isn't she cute? She's cute without the Jordan outfit. But no, I didn't put her in the outfit because it doesn't fit anymore. What do you mean it doesn't fit anymore? I'll have to get her another one. Please don't. Please don't. So, let's see. Up arrow. So yeah, so I was like, what's up with the shoe request? Because he's never requested shoes before. And of course he wants like some new, that's what it was. He wanted some new clothes. And I was like, what's up with the shoes? You've never requested shoes before. And he's like, I just want a nice pair of shoes. I'm like, sir, you got a pair of Pumas for when you started school? And he goes, yeah, those don't fit anymore. What do you mean? What do you mean those don't fit anymore? Those are almost like 6 months old. And he goes, yeah, they don't fit anymore. So I've talked to Mr. Coffee, and I told Mr. Coffee, I'm like, look, listen, I love coffee, but I'm going to start stunting this kid's growth if he doesn't knock it off, because the way he out here spending money like he got a job. Mr. Coffee's like, what do you mean? And I was like, did he tell you that his shoes from when school started don't fit anymore? He goes, wait, what? I was like, yeah. He goes, I'm going to have to get another job, aren't I? At this rate, yeah. Yeah, because I can't do it. After taxes, no. I feel like also my mom, the only reason why my mom still does my taxes is so that she can fuss at me for how much money I spent that year. And so this year I was smart. Instead of, because what I typically do is I'll write down what the item is and how much I paid for it. And then I'll keep track of that in case, you know, we get an audit and they're like, show us all your receipts. And I can show them like all the receipts and everything. And because I buy everything offline, there's a online paper trail. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to stunt his growth because the way I can't be out here spending $200 on Jordans. This kid had me out here buying and I can't complain because I just got a new chair for my office. And he just got, like, the thing was, though, he just got a new bed set. And so, like, I didn't want to go too hog crazy for his birthday, but you only get one birthday a year, okay? He needed the bed set. That's my responsibility to make sure he has somewhere decent to sleep. So he needed the bed. He didn't necessarily need the desk, but he needed the bed at least. And so he got the bed. He asked for the shoes and everything. And then yesterday, he was like, Mom, are you ready to start working out? And I'm like, yeah. So on Sundays, I typically will work out with Orion. Orion wants to take weightlifting class in school. And so he has started kind of doing some stuff to kind of prep for that here at the house. So he will lift weights, which we got him a pair of like cheap dumbbells and stuff. He'll lift weights. He will go walking with me. Or he will try to run with me, but I have shin splints, so I can't be out here running like that. The way my buddy just straight up shuts down. It's just like, no. So, yeah. He was working out with me yesterday, and he's like huffing and puffing, and I'm like, remember when I told you that just because you can eat a whole pizza doesn't mean you should eat a whole pizza. Just know your metabolism at some point is going to catch up with you. And he's like, what's a metabolism? And so I explained to him what metabolism means. And he goes, but Dad's still small. And I'm like, yeah, Dad's still small. And he goes, but you're... Before he could say it, Mr. Coffee's like, I wouldn't do that. He's like, well, he's like, I don't do that. And I'm like, what? Are you going to say that I'm not small? And he goes, well, you're smallish. And I'm like, okay, let me explain something to you. When you push out 3 children, okay, when you have to carry them and your body goes all funhouse circus mirror on you, I want you to then get small. Like, I want you to diet and exercise while you have the kids, because you can't just let yourself go for a while and then diet. Nay. I want you to stay thin the entire time and then come talk to me about why mommy's smallish. And he's like, does it really mess up your body that bad? Now, of course, Orion's a boy. He doesn't know much of pregnancy because the only pregnancy he remembers is when I was pregnant with Maggie, and he doesn't even remember that. So I showed him pictures, which I typically do for the kids around their birthday. I'll start showing them baby pictures of themselves. And I showed him a picture of what I looked like when I was pregnant with him. He's like, oh my God, was I huge? You look, you swallowed a basketball. And I was like, yeah, you were an 8.5 pound preemie, okay? The fact that they put preemie after 8.5 pounds was sad. The fact that you were known as a shark baby in the NICU because you were so much bigger than the other NICU kids is pretty sad. So yeah, you were a hefty one. Okay, I gained the most weight with Orion than I did with the 2 girls. And so explaining to him that the reason Daddy still looks smaller is because Daddy didn't have to push out any children. Mommy did. And he's like, well, he helped. Oh, he helped all right. He helped, which is why I yelled at him, you did this to me. You, sir, did this to me. And Orion was just like, so if you have babies, it messes up your body. I'm like, not always. Some women are able to bounce back. Some women do eventually go on a diet. I'm like, as you can tell now, I'm starting to work out. And I have like one of those walking pads. You've probably seen the ad for them on Instagram for the Deer Run track pads. I have one of those that I use it twice a week. And then there are other times of the week I will try to like actually get outside and run or walk, because I like having it, but I also like being able to go outside, get some fresh air, because I'm usually in the house all the time. And where I don't mind being in the house, it is nice every once in a while just to feel like air on my skin and the sun shining in my face. So I will definitely like be like, oh yeah, let's go outside. So I much prefer going outside, but if it's too cold, if it's too windy, if it's raining or anything like that, I at least have the trackpad. And I religiously use it at least twice a week. And then the rest of the week I go outside. Like, I got to get my 10,000 steps in. And it even was like, I was even thinking about doing a video where essentially I'm not so much crafting, because I can't really craft and walk at the same time. I might be able to, like, I don't know, not craft, but doing a video where I just essentially, if I'm doing, where I'm just essentially talking instead of like crafting, while I walk on the walking pad. I just got to figure out how loud it is first before I do that. So kind of like a, hey, you want to work out together? Because I need someone to work out with. Meanwhile, I'm just up here talking to myself while I'm walking. Anyways, so yeah, so we're all getting geared up and ready for Orion's birthday. And last night, Maggie comes to me and she goes, Mommy, my finger hurts. Now, she came to me first on Friday telling me that her finger was bothering her. And I was just like, with Maggie, she won't let you do anything about it, but she wants you to know she's hurt. Okay? If you suggest anything, it's going to be no. She's going to go run and hide. She chooses violence. So I was just like, okay, Maggie, what did you do to your finger? Because from the looks of it, it's this finger here, and this whole part from here up is swollen. It's swollen, and she chews her nails, so she has like this weird little like fingernail, and then like the meat of the skin of her finger is like above it because she chews her nails. She was really anxious when she had her seizures, and it never kind of went away, so she still kind of bites at her nails from time to time. And so she's like showing me her hand, and I see it swollen, and I'm like, hon, I think your daughter broke her finger. And he's like, wait, what? So he comes up, and he's like, what's up with your finger, Maggie? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, what did you do to it? I don't know. I love how I don't know is an acceptable answer for everything with kids. Now, we of course thought, okay, she has diabetes, something's off here, because you don't hurt yourself and not know how you hurt yourself. And she claims that she woke up like that. And I'm like, spider? And so I looked at the finger the best way I could to see if I could see any little puncture marks or anything in her finger. Because it's a weird place to bite someone. Like, they had her whole head and everything else, and they chose to bite her, like, middle finger on her right hand. And I was like, it almost looks burnt. Did you burn yourself? And she's like, no. I'm like, did you smash your finger in a door? And she's like, no. I'm like, then how is your finger swollen? I don't know. Oh, okay. We're starting to think that there's a little something else extra to that she's not telling us. So we essentially, until we find out exactly what it is, there's not really a whole lot we can do for her. And it's just your finger swelling. Even if it was broken, they're not going to do anything for it. Like, the most that they might do is say, give her some Tylenol for the pain, and then put her in a splint, which I have the splints here at my house, so I don't need to go to the hospital for that. And she has Tylenol in the cabinet. So why spend $45 million to have them tell me her finger isn't broken, but she also needs to have it, you know, soaking in peroxide or something to get the swelling to go down, when I know that, you know, she's not going to tell us exactly what happened. And I'm going to guess it's because she did something she wasn't supposed to do. And because the last time she did this, she got a soda cap stuck on her finger. And I felt really bad because I don't know how long it was stuck on there. She was like little at that time. Making sure that's the right symbol. But she was little at that time, and she walked around with the, like, if you've ever gotten a soda from like McDonald's or something, and it has that hole insert for the straw, she put her finger in it and kept it in there for a long period of time, at the point where her top of her pointer finger had turned purple. And she was little at this point. I want to say she was like 3 or 4. And I felt so bad because I was like, how did I not catch this? Like, how did I not catch that she had this stuck on her finger? Now, it was plastic, but she didn't realize this, so she could have just ripped it away. But she also was little and just a toddler at the time. So, like, she didn't know what to do besides hide it from me. And then I had happened to catch a glimpse of it. And I was just like, hey, what's on your finger, Maggie? And she's like, nothing. And she starts running away. Maggie's been running away from injuries her entire life, okay? So I was like, let me see your finger. I see her finger, and I see the thing on it. So we, of course, take the thing off her finger, and her finger immediately starts to gain color. So I'm going to guess it wasn't probably on there that long, but still. she has this innate ability of hurting herself, doing things that she's not supposed to do. And then, of course, when she's asked, she doesn't know how she hurt herself. She just did. So, had to deal with that. And she went to school this morning. She was like, my finger hurts. Well, what do you want me to do? Keep you home from school because your finger hurts and you refuse to let me do anything about it? Like, I don't understand what you're wanting from me. These kids literally will want to stay home because their toe hurts, okay? So I'm like, no, we're not doing that. And I'm really hoping that by the 20th of the month that they do have the buses back up and running, because that's when Maggie's procedure is. And because of this procedure, I was going to keep Orion in school because I wouldn't be back in time to pick him up. But I think what was going to happen is because Mr. Coffee is taking off work that day because it's an all-day procedure. So essentially, she's going to have the little crank that has a key that we're going to have to tighten every day. And so what's going to happen is she has to go in the morning to get fitted for it. And then we go back in the afternoon to get it placed. And so I was like, yay, yay, yay. Yay. We love that for us. And so because of that, because we have to go back for that second visit to have it placed in, Orion will be getting out of school like within like 20 or 30 minutes. And I don't know how long the procedure lasts. And I don't want to essentially pull him out and have him out all day because of it, but also pull him out like right towards the end of school, when if he rides the bus, he's able to just stay. And essentially, if they're not riding the bus by then, I am probably going to be like, yeah, I would keep him in school, but I don't have a way to pick him up after his sister's appointment. So unfortunately, he's got to come with me. Because that's always been the contingency, is the fact that they didn't have buses. So anytime something would happen with one of the kids, they both would have to be out of school. Also, last night, we tried something new with the kids. We tried shish kebabs. If you've never had a shish kebab, you don't know what that is. It's meat and veggies on a stick, because we're cavemen. So we got this really good meat from the butcher shop. I want to say it's some kind of pork or something, or I don't know. It definitely wasn't chicken. I'm so sick of chicken, y'all. Oh my God, I'm so sick of it. But I'm sitting there and I tell Mr. Coffee we should try it. And so we get like 2 skewers filled with meat. And I was like, that gives everyone at least 2 skewers. So we got 2 skewers per person. So a total of 8 skewers. And we're like, oh yeah, that'll be enough for everybody. Maggie probably won't eat all of hers, but Orion probably will, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, Mr. Coffee's like, how do you want to make these? And I was like, I want to put them on a grill. Now, the problem is Mr. Coffee doesn't know how to use the grill. Apparently in New York, when you live on the 4th floor of an apartment complex in New York, you don't grill often. So I'm like slowly teaching him how to use the grill. And it's weird for me because I'm like, I just assumed that everybody's father grilled, but his dad never really grilled a whole lot because they lived on the 4th floor of an apartment complex. My dad always grilled. Like, you give Pawpaw a reason, he's at the grill. Straight up dad vibes. He's got on his shorts and his New Balances with the grass stains on them. He's got his polo shirt. My dad finds any and every excuse to grill. Oh, what's that? You got your taxes done. Let's have a party and grill. Like, my dad literally will find any reason to pull out his grill and use it. So I'm laughing because Mr. Coffee's like, let's put him on the grill. And I'm like, you want me to teach you how to do this? And he's like, well, at some point I'm going to have to learn. And I'm like, okay. So we get everything situated, and then we realize that the green peppers and onions are not going to fit on the skewers because there's so much meat on each skewer that we would literally have to make like 4 more skewers just to be able to put some vegetables on it. So we just did separate vegetables on a different skewer. Now, my children, the first thing I said when Orion saw the meat on the stick, he's like, oh, is that on a stick? And I was like, yeah, but it's not a stick from outside. Like, it's not like I went outside and found a tree branch and just ripped the stick off and was like, stick this meat on it. It came like this. These are called shish kebabs. And he's like, shish kebabs? And Maggie's like, skis kebabs? What's that? So I explained to them what a shish kebab is. It's something my dad used to make all the time. And so I was like, I figured we could try this as something new. And they were like, oh, okay. I'm like, disclaimer, We are not going to stab each other. We're not going to poke each other. We're not going to sword fight. We're not going to play with the sticks. We are going to enjoy our dinner. Y'all, fast forward to about 20 minutes later when the food is ready and we're all sitting down to eat and Maggie going, "Leave me alone, Orion." Stab right in the hand. I was like, son of a Maggie. Now, the skewers are wood, but we did have some metal skewers also because we needed extra skewers for the vegetables. So I was like, "Maggie, stop stabbing your brother." And he goes, "Ow, that really hurts." So then he picks up his skewer and starts stabbing. It's just a stabby party at my dinner table last night. And I'm like, could you two please, for the love of all that is holy, knock it off? Now, before that, I'm outside teaching Mr. Coffee about the grill, and he decides to go inside to grab something. And it's like, I don't know, it's darker outside. It's like 7, 8 o'clock or something like that. And one of my neighbors was outside walking around for whatever reason. That's not my problem. That's his business. One of my neighbors walks around and they're like, "A woman grilling? Now that's hot." And I'm like, "Yeah, my husband thinks so too." And he's like, "But are you happy though?" One, if a woman tells you she's married, right? Your next thing should not be, "But are you happy though?" Even if I wasn't, I wouldn't get with your broke tail. Leave me alone. And Mr. Coffee must have sensed something was going on because I get really due to previous trauma, I get very skittish around men I don't know. And so I was like, am I happy? And Mr. Coffee goes, 6 figures, 6 inches, and 6 something. She's pretty happy. And I'm like, yeah, what he said. And the guy just kind of looked at Mr. Coffee, and Mr. Coffee's looking at him, and he's like, "You can continue your walk now." And Mr. Coffee's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, I'm fine. Like, that wasn't at all necessary. He goes, "No, but the men around here, some of them are very gentlemanlike. Some of them can be a little something. You got to stare at them sideways because, yikes." And that was definitely one of them. I had never seen that neighbor before, so I'm going to guess that they were visiting with somebody else, and they just happened to walk past my house because when we were grilling, obviously, we're not going to grill in the garage with the cars, so the grill was sitting on the outside of the garage, and we had the table and chair set up with the stuff that we were grilling on the table, the chairs that we needed. And so Mr. Coffee was just like, "Yeah, no, don't be coming over here hitting on this one mine, get your own." And I guess it's not uncommon for women. If you are a female, do you grill? I love grilling. I don't do it often enough. I think in the summertime I'm going to start grilling a lot more. One, because it keeps the heat out of the house. And two, who doesn't like barbecue? So, yeah. Then we had a debate. And this is going to be the last part of the Whip and Chat because, y'all, I could go on forever. I can be on here forever. We had a debate. Now, I make baked mac and cheese. I am originally from South Carolina. Okay? A couple of places in South Carolina. One of my favorite places is St. Matthews, South Carolina. That's one of the places I grew up. It's just a small little town near Orangeburg, South Carolina. And also Hilton Head. I did love Hilton Head. Anyways. So I'm from the South. So, of course, it's in my blood to make baked mac and cheese. I don't make it a whole lot because I feel like it takes the speciality out of it. But when I do make it, they mess it up, okay? They mess it up. So this past weekend, Mr. Coffee was like, "Orion wants hot dogs for dinner." I'm going to guess it was Saturday because Mr. Coffee cooks on Saturday nights. And he's like, "So are you okay with hot dogs and mac and cheese?" And I was like, "Wait, mac and cheese, are you making it?" Now, we will sometimes go buy boxed mac and cheese because we have kids and they like gross things. And so he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Now, Mr. Coffee and I have this debate all the time. Okay, I try to tell Mr. Coffee he is no longer a toddler and can upgrade, but he does not want to listen to me. This man prefers Kraft mac and cheese with the powder cheese over Velveeta or Deluxe. I like Deluxe. I don't mind Velveeta, but I like Deluxe. If I have to eat it out of a box, I like Deluxe. If I'm not making it, it's got to be Deluxe. And he's like, he says we're like there's the council of mac and cheese or something. We prefer our mac and cheese to have the powder. This one tastes better. Y'all, why are the kids agreeing with him? One, because they're kids. That's why. Mr. Coffee is a whole grown-ass man and would rather have Kraft mac and cheese with the powder instead of, like, deluxe or Velveeta. I'm like, it's not even real cheese. He goes, it's not even real cheese in the other ones that you make either. But this one is more delicious. And I'm like, I don't know, because Maggie doesn't eat mac and cheese. So good luck with that one, y'all. He had this girl licking the plate talking about, can I get some more of that mac and cheese? I'm like, Maggie, I thought you didn't like mac and cheese. I love mac and cheese. What do you mean? Now, Maggie's taste will change often. Okay? And so now all of a sudden, she likes mac and cheese. But only if it's that mac and cheese. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me? So we've been having the great debate in the house on which is the more superior mac and cheese. Velveeta and Deluxe or Kraft mac and cheese. If I was a child, yeah, Kraft mac and cheese hits different. As I became an adult, Kraft mac and cheese don't hit the same. Maybe it's because men are immature. I don't know. I just know that my husband prefers powdered cheese over the usual Velveeta or Deluxe mac and cheese. So, yeah, I just thought that was weird. Y'all can tell me what y'all prefer down in the comment section. Answer those questions, and there might be a mystery box coming your way. That is the official announcement of the mystery box. You have to answer the 3 questions in the video. I think I put 3 questions. Answer at least one of them, because I don't remember what the other ones are. And if you got this far, bonus entry, if you can put a little smiley face. Or no, not a smiley face. Put the 3rd emoji in your phone. Let's see how crazy and toxic we are. Let's put the 3rd emoji in our phone and answer at least one of the questions. And we're going to give away another mystery box this week. So with that said, that's it for me today. Now, I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. I hope you had a wonderful start to the week. Yeah, so far things are going great with the family. Everybody's doing well. But yeah, so I'm going to end it there. So thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you guys coming back and checking in on us here at the coffee house. Everyone is doing well, thriving and surviving. That's all we can do. Hopefully, also, if you didn't get your taxes stuff done yet, get up and get your taxes done so you don't have to worry about it. The quicker you get it done and over with, the quicker you don't have to worry about it. You can take your money and do the things that make you tax rich for about 20 minutes before you're broke again, okay? So get your taxes done. Drink some water, take your meds, and we will see you guys next week. But until then, please remember to stay safe out here in these crafty streets, and always remember to be kind to others because you never know what somebody else is going through. Be courteous because it's the right thing to do, and always stay cool. And whether I see you in YouTube land or I see you on Twitch, either way, I'll see you when I see you. Bye, guys.